Pusat Pemeriksaan Kenderaan Berkomputer or Puspakom will no longer be the sole provider of periodic motor vehicle inspection service from September 1st, 2024, says Transport Minister Anthony Loke. He said the Cabinet in a meeting on March 17th decided that other qualified companies would also be allowed to provide the service on behalf of the Road Transport Department, Bernama reports. He said the process of inviting private companies to offer this service is expected in the first quarter of 2024 at the latest. Loke says the decision is in line with the government's desire to create a competitive service environment and make it easier for people to deal with such tasks. This was following public complaints about lack of efficiency, as many had to spend hours waiting for their vehicles to be inspected, and also due to the fact that there is a limited number of Puspakom branches. Loke said the Ministry of Transport and JPJ would develop the qualifying conditions, operational regulations, scope of service and guidelines, including on the determination of inspection locations before opening up the service to other companies. He said that companies interested in providing the service must fulfill the same conditions imposed on Puspakom, including hiring only qualified workers. They must also provide and use computerized inspection equipment regulated and approved by JPJ, provide services which fully meet the scope, standards and procedures set for vehicle inspection, and charge inspection fees according to specified rates. Loke said interested private companies are not allowed to offer repair or modification services for vehicles or sell spare parts. He also said Puspakom's concession agreement, when it expires on August 31st, 2024, would be extended by 15 years with improved terms. This includes modernizing its inspection process, which would enable inspections to be monitored online on a real-time basis by consumers, the MOT and JPJ. It has also been asked to increase the competency of its employees and improve the scope of vehicle inspections. Dagang Exchange has entered into an agreement with Saudi-based Ajlan and Bros Holding Group to establish a joint venture company in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In a statement, DNeX said the JVCo is poised to undertake the business of system integration in smart cities and large enterprise projects in the Middle East and North Africa, as well as projects of Ajlan and its subsidiaries. Under the agreement, Ajlan will be responsible for jointly bidding for Saudi smart city projects with DNeX, as well as existing large enterprise projects. Meanwhile, DNeX will be responsible for the design, supply, delivery, installation, testing and commissioning of information and communications technology infrastructure and applications. DNeX Executive Chairman Tan Sri Syed Zainal Abidin Syed Muhammad Tahir said the JVCo will further cement the group's global presence, leveraging the strong network of influence of Ajlan to undertake various mega infrastructure projects in Saudi, Middle Eastern and North African markets. He adds that it will enable DNeX and its group of companies to deploy homegrown technologies and facilitate Saudi Arabia's urban transformation projects, catering to the overarching objectives of Saudi Vision 2030. Syed Zainal notes that DNeX had already registered as one of the vendors participating in Saudi Arabia's mega project of NEOM, and thus the company expects to work closely in growing the capability of the JVCo. The agreement is a follow-through from the collaborative framework agreement between DNeX and Ajlan, which was signed in August 2022 to form a JVCo in Saudi Arabia. Axiata Group has appointed the group's Chief Financial Officer and Joint Interim Group CEO Vivek Sood as Managing Director and Group CEO of the Telco Group, effective today. In a statement, Axiata said Vivek is an experienced telco executive with over 2 decades of industry experience spanning multiple countries. Axiata said that in his new role, Vivek will lead the company's strategic growth initiatives, including the expansion of 5G and digital infrastructure and service offerings. Vivek's joint interim CEO partner, Dr. Hans Wijaya Surya, was appointed Group Executive Director and CEO of Axiata's telco business. Axiata's Chief Corporate Development Officer, Leela Azman Abdullah, will now take on the mantle of Group CFO. Axiata Chairman Tan Sri Shahril Ridza Ridwan said the board is happy to appoint Vivek as its new group CEO and for Hans to take the executive director post, adding that their track record of success as the group's joint interim CEOs put them in an ideal position to lead Axiata into the future and ensures the continuity of the telco group strategies. He points out that the completion of the Celcom DG merger at the end of last year was due in part to their skillful leadership in closing a complex transaction. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission confirmed that former Astro Malaysia Holdings Group CEO Datuk Rohana has surrendered the $10 million worth of cash and assets related to the 1MDB scandal. She had received them from former Goldman Sachs banker Tim Leissner. His Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki, when contacted by The Edge, confirmed that Rohana had returned it last year. A separate source familiar with the matter also confirmed the matter with The Edge. Rohana was quizzed by the MACC in February 2022 after Leissner testified in Roger Ng Chong Hua's trial last year that a media CEO with whom he had an affair had allegedly blackmailed him into buying her a $10 million home. Her lawyers, Mrs. Valen and O, said she had pledged to assist in investigations. Leissner described the person to be Rohana and that he bought the property in London after she allegedly threatened to expose his involvement in 1MDB. He testified to the New York court that she was very upset that he was ending their relationship to be with his future wife, Kimora Lee Simmons. To recap, on Thursday, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Azalina Oman Said, in a parliamentary written reply to Kepong MP Lim Lep Eng, said that the Attorney General's chambers has no knowledge of whether Rohana had returned the $10 million in assets she gained from Leissner. 5 Classita Holdings shareholders have failed in their attempt to block the lingerie maker from convening an extraordinary general meeting to vote on the company's proposed rights issue pending the conclusion of their lawsuit. This came after the High Court on Friday dismissed the shareholders' injunction application with costs awarded to Classita, according to the company's boss filing. Classita was formerly known as KD Holdings. When contacted by The Edge, Classita confirmed that the company is to proceed with its EGM to vote on the group's proposed rights issue, which is fixed for March 27th. The 5 shareholders are Datuk Sri T. Yam, Datuk JP Lau Kok Chuan, Leo Boon Kin, Sang Jia, and former Executive Chairperson Datin Sri Jessie Wong Xiao Pui. Collectively, the 5 shareholders hold 90.82% in Classita, with T. Yam holding the largest share with a 14.57% stake. Their lawsuit pertained to seeking the court's permission to initiate legal action on behalf of Classita against the group's board, as well as vendor, for breach of fiduciary duties, fraud, unjust enrichment, and conspiracy to injure the group.